your sliders out, put some grease on your sliders, make sure those are good. I'll stick this back on, this side will be done. Good morning, everybody. It is the 4th of July. It is currently 8:30 in the morning and it's 90 degrees and about 800% humidity. It's sticky. But what I'm going to do today is a very simple brake pad change. If you've watched any of my older videos, you know that I used to have a 2012 Maxima. So I'm going to do this 2011 Maxima for a coworker of mine. We're going to do a front brake pad swap. This should be easy, maybe an hour total. The hardest part's going to be getting up in the air and getting the wheels off. So let's get started. We'll go through this. These are the pads I'm using. They're Wagner Thermal Quiet ceramic. There's the part number. So let's get going. Obviously, first thing to do is get your car up in the air. Jack and jack stands. It's 21, right? 21. Yep, 21. Lug nuts, and then for pads, it'll be two. I think they're 14s. Two 14s. It's really weird here that these are the only pads I've ever bought that tell you how to put it together. So, also the screamer bars, the wear bars aren't attached. So I have to figure out how to put those on. So, two 14s, got one there, one there. Zap those off and we'll be ready. Got these two 14s loose. I'm gonna pull my caliper off, come off my hand. Up here. Yeah, outside pad good, inside pad not so good. And of course it started raining. So the back pad here was stuck. So I took a little pry bar, flathead, whatever, put in here. Make sure when you're doing this, you don't like to do this. Try and come in, as you can see right here, it's chamfered a little bit. You can go in right there and start working your way down. That way you're not like gouging at the rotor. Put grease. If you want to replace these, you can replace them. I normally don't if they look good, if they're not bent up. I mean, they're going to be rusty looking, but they're still going to be fine. Make sure you put grease here and here. That's where most of your noise comes from. A lot of people put grease on the back. That's up to you. Steve does. I'm 50-50 on it. I've done it and it's made noise. So, but right here and here are your main points. See, I got both of them installed. I'm gonna pull your sliders out, put some grease on your sliders, make sure those are good. I'll stick this back on, this side will be done. Now, something you need to do here, these pads come with these little things called abutment clips. Okay, and they come with new ones. You literally pinch them together, put them in these holes. Okay, push them down. Okay, on the bottom, you notice you got 4 of them. It's hard to do this one-handed. If I was smart, this GoPro's on a tripod and I'd set it down, but what this does is it helps keep the pads, like, as they move, it keeps them from like one of them going way out and one of them staying in. So it's just to keep them from, supposed to keep them wearing even. Okay, so that side's basically done. I'll compress that piston, grease these, and this side will be done. I recommend you take a paper towel, wipe all the old grease off. And I've got this Ultra Disc Brake Caliper Lube. You don't have to buy a tube. You can buy those little job packs by the register. They're like $1. I'm going to need one of those soon. But what I do is take it, just make sure it's good and spread out all over the caliper, all over the slider bolt, top to bottom. To be honest with you, a lot of it's going to come off whenever you put it back in the boot. One thing to make sure of, if you notice here, there's a little lip. When you put it in, that lip has to go in that boot. Okay, make sure it comes up and over, because if not, I've had these little boots tear, I've had these little boots not seal, and then this bolt rusts and it seizes up and you've got to replace the whole caliper, and I've gotten by with replacing the bracket. Just make sure you do that. Okay, boom, just felt it go in. Okay, and I always give it a little twist when I put it in. That way the grease gets good and spread out on the slider and in here. Now we'll do the bottom one. Done. So when you compress this piston, take your old brake pad. I always say take the old one that's worst, put it in here like this. This is going to be really hard to do one-handed. Then you take your C-clamp, go in here, okay, and you'll probably go to like right here or right here. Try to avoid the bolt if you can, and it will just compress it. Don't go fast, go slow, because I have seen sometimes when you do this fluid come out the reservoir in there, but that's only if you're only doing all 4. So I'm gonna try and do, like I said, it's hard to do one-handed because you got to hold this. Try and go here if you can, if you're off center. Okay, and then just give it a few turns, and you can see it will start going in. Pay special attention when you do this to your boot. You don't want to, make sure you don't want to rip the boot. Okay. Now you can tell when it's all the way in because the pad will be touching the caliper. Okay. Once you get to there, you're done. It should. 90% of the time that'll be enough to make you go back over here, okay? Now, take your C-clamp back off, take your old pad. Don't put it up yet because you may need to make that go a little more. Okay, slide this back over. Oop. Okay, pay attention. You'll notice the caliper has a flat spot, has to line up with the flat spot on your slider bolt, or else it won't go in all the way, okay? Now we'll take our 214s. What I do is I get the top started, and then I about hand tight, and I'll do the bottom, just make sure everything's lined up. Okay, and we'll take our 14 and snug them down. You can torque these if you want to. I don't ever hardly ever torque brake calipers. If I was going to do rotors and take the whole bracket off, yes, I would torque the bracket. 1, 2. I always tell everybody go as tight as you can. Don't like stand on it, but as hand tight as you can get them. Okay. Okay. This side is done. Side's done. Okay. On the other side, I'm actually going to take these off and show you how it's done. That way, in case you need to know. So let's go to the other side. Get the wheel jerked off and go on. Actually, I'm going to put this wheel back on. Go over the other side, and then I'll take the wheel. So to get these little guides, whatever you want to call them off, I always just take a flathead or a pry bar, get under them like this. Them up a little bit, and they will just come off. Okay, like that, and they're off. And then you take your other ones, what I recommend, you do whatever you want to do, but what I recommend is, if you're going to replace these, anywhere metal meets metal should have grease on it, okay? That's a place for noise or rubbing or whatever, okay? So, here, etc. Okay? That's what I'll do. Just put a little bit of grease. Okay, now what I'll do, take my finger, spread that out. Try not to get it on the rotor. Okay, and while I've got my grease out, go ahead and do my sliders. These here, just take them, give them a little push. Okay, and if they don't go in, you can take like your socket and just, but try not to bend them. Okay, and then take a little bit of grease, put it here. Like I said, anywhere metal meets metal, or the pads touch. Okay. Okay, like I said, try and not get it on your rotor. And we'll take our pad and our abutment clips. This is a very straightforward job. There's nothing besides the abutment clips. This is very super straightforward. Anybody should be able to do this job. Nothing weird. Okay? 2 abutment clips, remember those. Some people say you don't need them. If they come there from the factory, I'll slap them back in. It takes an extra second. Okay? Boom. Now I'll get my C-clamp, press this, slap that back on, this side's done. Wheels are back on. It's on the ground. A little bit of advice. Once you get it on the ground, torque your wheels. Get them tight in the air. Once they're on the ground, torque them again. I'm gonna go drive it around a little bit, seat the pads. Read on your paperwork with your pads or on the box, it will tell you how to seat them. What I do is I do just like 30 to 5 mile an hour stops. Let it kind of like coast a little bit, which is good about living in a neighborhood. Don't come to a complete stop, and also don't like slam the brakes. Kind of let them easy, I say drag. Then do that 5 times, come back, let it sit, cool off. And to me, I've never had any issues with it. Power Stop tells you to do that 30 times, but that'd be all like hour worth of seating. So we're done. Like I said, retorque your lug nuts once it's on the ground. We're gonna go seat it, and then this will be done. This should be like an easy, if it hadn't rained, I would've been done in like half this time, but I had to stop, let it cool off. And now it's like 200% humidity. So the thing I always forget to tell you to do, when you get in the car to drive it, when you're gonna go seat it, pump the brake up pedal before you do anything. Start the car, pump the brake till you get brake pedal, because you've compressed those calipers, so they're all the way in. So when you go to push them first time, they're going to come all the way out. So I've literally got in a car, went to drive it, and forgot to pump them up, and been like, oh crap, and have to get them, yeah. So when you get in the car, start it, pump the pedal till you get pedal, till you get brakes. You'll know what I'm saying. When you first push it, it'll go to the floor and there'll be nothing. So like 4 or 5 times. So let's go seat these and we'll be done. I'm going to show you what I mean. So get up to about 30, and then real easily, make sure there's nobody behind you, of course. Real gently bring it down to almost a stop, and then do it again. The good thing about living in a neighborhood is you get stop signs, and you can just square the block. Okay, so now we're up to about 40. Give it another one. Okay, obviously stop at your stop sign, but don't like abrupt stop. Let it come to a gradual stop. Check. We're going to go left. Okay. This one doesn't have a stop sign. We're going to do it anyways. Make sure there's nobody behind you. 30. About 0. Okay. We'll give her one more. I've already done this a couple times, so I'll give her one more between here and the house. And like I said, I will retorque my lug nuts. To almost 0. Boop. Okay. Now we're good and seated. That's just like I said, read on the box and see what they tell you to do. This is what I've always done, and it seems to work pretty well. I've never had any issues, but always do what the manufacturer tells you to do. Just read the box, read the paperwork inside, whatever. You do whatever you want to do. If you want to do it my way, you want to do it the manufacturer, that's on you. So this is just the way I've always done it. It's worked for me. So change the brakes on your car. This is a super simple job. This is a very easy car to do. No tricks, no special tools. The only special tool you'll need is a C-clamp. So good luck, everybody.